patterns here, and I said you got to decide which of those you were filling out. Did anyone do the 2s? So we had to write these as fractions. Not decimals. We're writing them as fractions. So somebody who did the 2s. Greg, what'd you get here? Close. So you got 1/4. What's the next one? Brian?
1/4.
No,
1/2.
So it's 1/2. What's 2 to the 0? 1. And then what's 2 to the 1? Greg? 2. And 2 to the second is 4. Somebody who did the 3s, what's 3 to the second going to be? Joe? 1/9. What's 3 to the -1 going to be? Alexis? 1/3. Anything to the 0 power is 1. 3 to the 1 is 3. 3 squared is 9. Somebody who did the 10s. Anna? Natalia? Anything to the 0 is 1. 10 to the 1 is 10. 10 to the squared is 100. So I told you when you started to look for patterns. What do you notice? Because our focus today is negative exponents. What are you noticing about these, Lena? Hold on, you've got some classmates that are talking. It's really disrespectful. I'm sorry about that. Say that again, Lena. So she's noticing that the denominator on the left side is the same as the number on the right side. What other patterns do you notice? Haley? Oh, multiples of that base number. So these are all multiples of 2. These are multiples of 3, or these are multiples of 10. That's what you're saying. Yeah, there definitely seems to be this pattern between that number there and that number there, that number there and that number there, that number there, that number there. There definitely seems to be a pattern there. The easiest way to write negative exponents is to think of them as like an upstairs and downstairs. There's really 3 things, and you're going to want to write this down. So write this down in your classwork section. The first thing you're going to need to be able to do is, with negative exponents, you're going to need to write with a positive exponent. I want you to draw a little house. It's got to have an upstairs and a downstairs. So you've got a house there. It's got an upstairs here, downstairs here. And then what you're going to do is, when you write with a positive exponent, so if I told you you had 1/7 to the -3, this fraction bar is the same as this floor right here. So this fraction bar, here's our upstairs, here's our downstairs. Think of the exponent as the personality, or how that number is feeling. So it's negative when it's downstairs. So to make it positive, we move it upstairs. So I'm going to move that number upstairs. And then when I move him upstairs, he becomes positive. And you're thinking, well, Mr. Thompson, does that mean I'm just finding the reciprocal? Does that mean I just flip it? And that's not the case. Let's say you've got a number like this. Let's say you've got 1 over 3a to the negative 4. A to the negative 4. The 3 has an exponent of 1. It's positive. It's happy being downstairs. The a is not happy. The a is negative. So the a needs to go upstairs to be happy. The 3 is going to stay downstairs. And there's your answer. If you think about that the way that we did these, it's the same kind of problem. This, when it's happy, looks like this. The 100 is upstairs. When it's negative, it's downstairs. Here, when my 10 to the 1 is upstairs, 10 to the negative 1 is downstairs. So it's always this kind of upstairs and downstairs. Let's say you've got 5x to the negative 1. Write that using positive exponents. Try that on your own. Anybody think they got it? Greg, what'd you get there? X1 over 5? Are these currently upstairs or are they downstairs? There's no fraction bar though, like it's just this. I don't see any fraction. Lena? It is. Anything over 1 is itself. So they're naturally upstairs. Just like if you wrote down your birthday or how old you were and you're 12 years old, you could write it as 12 or 12 over 1. It's the same. So they're currently upstairs. The 5 is happy upstairs. It's positive upstairs. It doesn't want to change. The x is negative upstairs. So that's going to have to change. So our 5 stays positive upstairs, but our x goes downstairs. The exponent changes, not the sign. So there's your answer. Let's try one more like this. Negative 3a to the negative 2. Write that using positive exponents. Anybody think you got it? Alexis?
I said 1 over 3a.
1 over? Now, why would you say 1 over?
Because, I think because you're naturally like upstairs.
Yeah.
And then both of them are happy being upstairs. So they both want to be downstairs. So I moved the 1
So I like how you said both of them. So you're recognizing that there's two things here. There's a negative 3 and an a. But what's the exponent for our negative 3? 1. Yeah, so our negative 3 is actually happy. And you're thinking, yeah, but it's negative. It doesn't matter what the number is. It doesn't matter what the base is. We're only interested in the exponent. So the negative 3 is actually happy upstairs. It's the a that's unhappy because it has a negative exponent. So that's a squared. And there's your answer. The second thing you'll need to be able to do is write them with negative exponents. So sometimes you'll have a negative exponent that you have to turn to positive. Sometimes you will be the parents and you have to change something positive into something negative. So for example, if you have 1 over x to the 3rd, how could you make that exponent negative? Anna? X to the negative third. Do I have to put a 1 under it? No, I can just leave it like that. So basically, you just sent it to its room and made it unhappy. Ryan?
It's really, that was the answer, you changed it here, right?
Yep. So this is, well, I had a positive exponent of 3. I wanted to make it a negative exponent, so I moved it upstairs. Let's try another one similar to that. Let's try 1 over 49. How could I write that using negative exponents? Right? You're saying 49 to the negative 1, like that? You could do that. Anybody find a different answer? Natalia? That's probably what I would do for that one. Both of these are correct. This one's just, I don't know, a little bit more sophisticated. But they both meet our requirements of writing it with a negative exponent. The last thing you'll have to do is be able to evaluate, which basically just means simplify or get the answer. So we want to evaluate. We'll say that x is 3, y is negative 2, z is 4. So if we're evaluating this right here, we have y to the negative 2. Our y equals negative 2. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to write it with a positive exponent. The next thing I'm going to do is plug in my negative 2, making sure that I use parentheses. So 1 over negative 2 times negative 2 will give me a positive 4. Try that one on your own. Anyone think they got that one? Natalia? Kind of hard to hear you from over here. Is that what you did? Something similar to that? So what we're doing here is our exponent will be negative. That's a negative 2. It's negative, so we have to make it happy. It's currently upstairs. So to make it happy, we have to move it downstairs. 5 squared gives us 25, and then there's our answer.